to my channel. It has been a long time. I'm not sure when I'm posting this, but we've had a very long, chaotic, kind of like anxiety-ridden last 2 weeks. But anyways, on a more positive note, we just woke up and I'm getting the kids ready. My son actually has a doctor's appointment, like his 15-month checkup, and I'm about to make my iced coffee. And I figured I'd show you guys how I've been making like my own salted caramel cold brew, but at home, because all of a sudden I just like have not really been enjoying hot coffee. The pumpkin spice, I haven't like gone there yet, even though my house is decorated and I'm like kind of feeling fall-y. The salted cold brew has just been like my go-to lately. So I found like our easy recipe to make at home. You don't need much. Normally, I want to say I like this Starbucks cold brew. It like says cold brew. It's not like their blonde or medium, just iced coffee that you buy in this section. You buy it in the section and it's green, has a green top, but it actually says cold brew, but they didn't have it this time. So this week I've been using the Stoke cold brew coffee. And I try and get the strongest one possible. Even though I'm pregnant, like if you check on the back and stuff, the caffeine is still within range. And then I just have my glass of ice right here. So I just give it a shake. Sometimes I even add a little bit of espresso if I'm making like Nespresso pods, just because I feel like there's not that much caffeine in here. Okay, so that is it for the cold brew part. Super easy. Okay, so then for like the actual cold brew part, like the foam, the best stuff, you just need a little bit of sea salt, some heavy whipping cream. I've seen people do this with like condensed milk and stuff. I don't have time for that. I don't want to open like 1,000 things. So, and then this International Delight sweet cream. This is like the key. And I put it in my little Nespresso frother. You can hand froth it. You can whip it for like 5 minutes if you're into that. I'm just gonna put it in here and then put it on the cold frother option. You hold it down and it'll turn blue. And then I'll show you how thick it is. Just got done. It's like kind of watery. I'm just gonna pour it so you can see. I don't know why it actually, of course, like the day I'm filming it didn't turn out as thick as it normally does, but it's still thick. And then that is it. Look how good that looks. And it tastes just like it. I just got foam, but you can add a little bit more salt. I probably should have went a little heavier with the salt, but I was scared and I was holding the phone with one hand and then I didn't want to shake too much. But yeah, either way, you have a little cold brew at home. You can Google like pumpkin recipes, like the pumpkin cold brew, and do it the same way. Like I said, they just add a little bit of condensed milk and some pumpkin puree and seasoning. You can get all fancy with it, but that is just been my go-to. And I wanted to show you guys because it's super easy and it'll save you some money. So. All right, so it is much, much later, and as you can see, I am just now getting ready. Ended up having my son's appointment, and then my daughter had swim class, and then I got home. He was tired. I had to put him down, get lunch ready, the whole thing. So I am just now getting ready, and I figured I would jump on here and kind of have like a little real sit down talk with you guys. If any of you guys are moms or might be going through the same thing that I was going through, I don't know, but like, somebody might need to hear this, and I wish kind of like I did like a week ago. I heard, what I'm going to say now and just explain what I've been going through. But so like I mentioned in the beginning, it has been a rough 2 weeks. I also broke my camera. Well, my daughter did, not me. But so on top of that, and then what I'm about to say, it's just I haven't had time to film. But basically, we started off like the stomach flu just ran through our house like crazy. Started off with my son, he had it first, and then like a day went by, and my son had it, and then a few days went by, and then my daughter had it. So it was just like, we couldn't catch a break. It was like right as things were starting to get normal, one of them would get sick again. I thankfully did not get it. I don't do well with throwing up, and then, as a mom, you don't really get time to like take care of yourself if you're sick. So I was like crazy about washing my hands and not drinking or eating after anyone, and it seemed to work. So knock on wood, I didn't get it. Hopefully I don't get it. So yeah, that happened, and it just kind of spiraled into like a downward slope for me mentally. Just having that crazy mom burnout. I mean, if you're a mom, you know that like when your kids get sick, you get this like overwhelming just like anxiety. And then on top of that, they were so sick the month before. I felt like I just couldn't catch a break, and like the poor kids too, like not to just make it about me, but the kids too, you know. But I mean, I wasn't sleeping. Again, I just had like anxiety. I was scared all the time. Well, then about a week later, everyone was like seeming to get back to normal. And my daughter woke up in the middle of the night again, throwing up everywhere, saying she was sick to her stomach. And she had this about 3 weeks prior to getting the stomach flu. And she's always had a sensitive stomach. Like a lot of people in my family, including myself, and then my husband's family has it. So I kind of realized if she overdoes like junk, she gets sick. But anyway, so she had that, and then the next day he woke up acting kind of normal. I decided to meet our family for lunch because again, she didn't seem to be sick. I thought it was something she ate. And then at lunch, she just started throwing up again. And then with that, she was like asking to go to sleep. She was really lethargic, which is just not like her at all. And again, with just the anxiety I have, and it doesn't help. My husband is very, very, very anxious when it comes to the kids. I don't know if it's his job or what, but like they can have a tiny bit of a runny nose, and like I love him to death. I'm not trying to bash him, but he will immediately be like, you know, do they need blood work? Are they okay? Like, is this normal? And so as a mom, when you already have that anxiety and then it's just like being rattled up by your partner, it's really hard. So anyways, that day I decided, you know, I am done like guessing to see if it's food or whatever. I took her to the ER. And of course, when we get there, she's like laughing and acting silly, and I feel like an idiot. But anyways, super long story short, like really long story short, they ran a bunch of tests, and thankfully everything came back fine. All her blood work, everything. They did seem to think she has a food allergy, like a sensitivity to something, but I don't know if I believe it because she had it when she was a baby, and so like I know the signs for her. I think she just really cannot tolerate fried or junk food, which she, after we went over like a food diary they had me make. Every day that she got sick, she had sweets and fried food. So, and not like saying a mom of the year, I normally don't give her that much stuff like that. But the days that she got sick, we were around family. And you know how that goes. Like everyone loves to spoil their kids. And I have a hard time saying no because I don't want to be that parent. So I think for her, it was just sweets and fried foods. And we've made, you know, a drastic change in her diet. We've gone back to eating very healthy, like not just budget friendly, buying organic, you know, like healthy, expensive stuff for the kids. Anyways, it's made a difference. So that happened. And then I just like could not get out of a slump. Felt like I just like, as a mom, I was just sucking. Even like the last few days, I've made a change, and I'm going to share. That's kind of why I'm sharing this part, because the next part of the vlog, it'll make sense, but I'll share with you what I'm doing to get out of like the funk. But I just like every day I had like no patience. I was so tired. I'm sure it's because for 2 weeks, I literally didn't sleep at night because I was either up worried to death that one of the kids were going to get up sick, or they were up sick. So for like 2 weeks, I didn't sleep. The anxiety, like the stress, you know how it goes. I think it all kind of factored into it. I just found myself being a really crappy mom, at least in my opinion. I just had no patience. Everything was driving me nuts. I was just like, every day I felt like it was a struggle to even get through the day. Like I was just having such bad burnout. I'm like, this cannot be my life. Like that sounds terrible. I wasn't depressed or anything, but I don't know. I just got in this funk, felt like I wasn't doing enough, felt like maybe Blake should go to school. But again, why am I going to pay all this money to send her to preschool? Because she's not old enough for VPK where part of it's covered. When I'm home, and I'm going to be home with Tucker and the next baby, and they don't really learn. I mean, they do, but she already has playgroup 2 or 3 times a week. She does swim. We do a curriculum here, which she's very advanced on. I'm not trying to like boost her up or anything like that, or say my daughter's better. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to explain like my thought process. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm not doing enough here. It just like every aspect, even with my husband, I was just like short-tempered, felt like I was failing. But I decided, you know, like I can't feel like this forever. I am going to be a stay-at-home mom for quite a bit of time. That is our choice. I am not, again, complaining. Oh, my ring's on the wrong finger. I'm not complaining. That is what works well for our family. That's what makes me happiest, my kids happiest. It works the best, like money-wise, just everything. I'm not complaining about that. I'm very, very thankful. I know that to be home with the kids. I just knew that like I couldn't stay in this funk forever. So I decided to get intentional with my day. I did a lot of praying. I know not everybody is, you know, religious or into that, and that's okay. You can find what works best for you. But I found what works best for me, and I'm gonna share that with you. I'm gonna finish getting ready, but I just wanted to give you that little bit of a backstory of where I'm coming from. 1 second, Blakey, before I jump into that. So you kind of know like why I've started doing what I'm doing, and it's helping a lot. So maybe it could help you if you're going through the same thing. I'm sorry to ramble. I'm going to finish getting ready. I'm not trying to be negative or like just in a poopy mood, but just had to share that with you. Again, I'm going to show you what I've been doing, what I've been loving, and kind of what's changed our mornings, our days, and like my intention as a mom and a wife. Finished getting ready, and overall, like my whole rant, I'm sorry about going on that rant again, but it was just, I didn't feel like I was doing enough in the day, but I also felt like every day was just getting away from me. Like I felt like every day was the same, and I just couldn't get a grip on like what I needed to do, what needed to be done too, and how like I wanted to be as a mom, how I wanted the day to go. I like could not figure it out. It seemed like all of a sudden every day seems so hard to get through. So what I did was, the first thing, I can't show you because my camera broke and I'm using my phone, so I will insert a picture up here, something as I'm talking about it. But I went on Canva and I set a background to my phone. Like I found a template and filled it in for my morning like intentions. So it says something like, you know, about like drinking coffee and doing my morning prayer. Again, this is just for me. If you're not religious, that's totally fine. Play Christian music. A big thing is I have cut out the TV in the morning. I felt like it was making the kids crazy, me crazy. This is just what has worked for us. And again, this is like my list that I went ahead and make, and I set it as my phone background. So every morning I see this as the first thing, and it kind of gets my intentions for the day. And if I need to throughout the day, like I'm having a hard time, I just glance at it and review like what I want out of today, you know, and kind of get my mindset back in order. But so it's like coffee, make my bed and get ready, because I was never getting ready or doing anything slightly for myself. So I feel like getting ready is kind of helping me a little bit. Get breakfast going, and then when we sit down for breakfast, this is the biggest thing. I write down by time like what I want to get done for the day. So the night before, I will brainstorm what we have actually planned for the day and what I want to do for the day. I will put it like on my notes on my phone, and then the next morning, you know, I make sure everything's going well, we're all in a good mood, everything's kind of following my morning intentions. As crazy as that sounds, like I want it to be checked off and followed because it helps me and the kids. And then we'll sit down and like by time slot, which I'm going to show you, I go through. I am like a list person. I've realized keeping it in my head has not been helpful. It has been very helpful to get it on a piece of paper, go through, check off as we do it, you know. Of course you can rearrange things, it's not super strict, but this is just like mentally cleared my head, I feel like, and I just know what to expect each day. So the night before, if I don't do it on my phone or whatever, or I'm like in the kitchen, I'm like thinking of things for the next day, I printed out this to-do list. I went ahead and erased it so you could see, but it's just like a little to-do list with some check marks. I don't really follow this one throughout the day. This is kind of just where like I dump all my ideas, I dump how I'm feeling, I dump kind of what needs to be done. And then when we sit down for breakfast, again, I erase this because I kind of want to go through with you and show you like how today went as of now. There's an actual to-do list that I printed. So there is to do where you can just write, you know, here, this is like my favorite thing. It's today's plan, but by times, which I wish I wasn't that person, but I've realized this really helps me mentally. Urgent, like what needs to be done right away, and then goals and notes. So in the morning when we're in a good mood, I fill this out, and then I just have this to refer back to throughout the day. So for example, last night, and then I just bought like these little erasers. Last night I knew that today we had Tucker's appointment. I knew that we had swim. I knew that Blake needed to do homeschooling, which I would love to make a video about that. I finally have gotten like in a little bit of routine with her, which again has been helpful because that was another thing on my head. Like, am I failing her doing homeschooling? Am I doing enough? Like every day I didn't have anything planned. I would just try and like wing it. Now I'm planned the night before. I have everything ready to go. So I know I needed to do Tucker's appointment. Blake had swim. And we needed to do school at some point. Again, I wanted to get myself ready, but that's on my own like intentional thing that I posted and showed you guys. I needed to do dinner and like pick up, clean the house. So I kind of wrote that on my to-do list. That's what I did this morning. I'm just kind of taking you back throughout what I did. The urgent things, I didn't have anything urgent today, but like if I were to have to call to make an appointment or, like pay a bill or something like that, I would put in urgent. Goals, for my goal today, it was to just be a happy mom and for my kids to like just feel joy and love. I didn't want them to feel stressed out because that was the other thing. I could tell that me being in bad mood, my kids were acting out and like they could tell, like they could feel it. So I want them to feel like comfort and joy in this home, not stress and anger. So my goals were to be a happy mom and fill my kids with joy. And as lame as that sounds, like writing it out and looking at this, it helps me. So whatever you're going through, you can kind of put there. And then for notes, I didn't need to do grocery shopping or go through anything today. So that's how I filled that out. And then so for today's plan, I knew at 9 o'clock, Tucker had his appointment. So I wrote that down for 9. At 8 a.m., so then I kind of worked backwards. At 8 a.m., I wanted breakfast to be on the table because I knew we had to leave at 8:30. So when I had breakfast on the table by 8 a.m. and then I figured we'd get back at 10 and we would do, and this is kind of like within 30 minutes. This is just how it printed out. So I kind of give myself 30 minutes, but so from like anywhere between 10 and 11, I did Blake's school. Sometimes it takes like 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes 30 or 40 minutes. 11 o'clock, 11:15. So for the 11 o'clock slide, I know at 11:15 she had swim. So for 11, I'm gonna put leave for swim. I know it sounds so crazy, but doing these little blocks just takes everything out of your head onto a piece of paper, and I swear it makes the biggest difference. So I'm gonna fill this out and kind of show you how I plan throughout the day. Okay, so I just finished filling this out. Today was like a very, I'll show them that in a second. Today was like a very kind of, not organized, but we didn't have much going on where I needed to fill it in like step by step exactly, but this is how my day, how I planned it this morning. This is what I went ahead and wrote down. So for 8 a.m., breakfast on table. 9 o'clock was his appointment. 10 o'clock, Blake, we'd be back. So I wanted Blake to do school. 11 o'clock, leave for swim. 12 o'clock was nap time and get lunch for Blake. 1 o'clock, pick up the house. 2 o'clock, Tucker will be awake, so he'll do lunch. 3 o'clock, play with the kids. Then edit and film video, figure out dinner, make dinner, kids' bedtime. And then by 8 o'clock, the kids will be asleep, so it's clean the house and relax for me, or do whatever I need to be done at that point. But it just like, I felt like all day long I was thinking, again, I have 100 things I needed to do and I wasn't getting done. So now I know, like, this is my time to play with the kids. I'm gonna soak it in, I'm gonna be present, I'm gonna be a good mom, because next hour, I have 30 minutes or an hour to clean. They would do quiet time or whatever it is. So again, this has helped me. Hopefully it helps you. It's been like a long little video, but also too, I made this for Blake, in case you're curious. It's super easy. And these are like, I found these at Target. They're just dry erase little things. They kind of suck, to be honest. I want to get them laminated or get better ones now that I know we'll actually use these. But this is like her little chore thing. I never had chores growing up. I'm not super strict in chores. That sounds terrible, but like, to each your own. I just thought this would be like a cute way to kind of get her going in the morning, lose a little bit of the battles we were having, and yeah, she likes it. So I just have brush teeth in the morning, get dressed and do hair, do schoolwork, put toys away, and bath and brush teeth in PM. Super easy, but she loves checking it off as we go. She was just out here playing with it and erased it, but those like the little things, and then my morning intentions that have really been helping me. And throughout the day, cutting out TV, even though like you think it's a lifesaver, has made a big difference. I play like uplifting music or whatever when we need a little boost. We'll do like a dance party if we're having a hard time. But not every day's perfect. I'm still learning as I go. I just wanted to share that with you before jumping into the next part of the video.